In this demonstration, we're going to take a look at how we can use the Windows Deployment Services of Server 2008 R2 to create an installation image and a boot image, and to help us image a computer with a Windows 7 Enterprise image. When you're on a WDS server, and we're looking at one that's already been installed for us, we have two types of images, an install image and a boot image. The boot image is like the Windows PE image. It helps the computer to be able to boot off of the network and be able to connect to the WDS server. To create a boot image, all we need to do is insert our Windows 7 DVD, right-click boot image, and say add a boot image. We can then browse to our Windows 7 DVD and go to the sources folder and choose the boot.wim file. That's basically the boot image already created for us. Go ahead and click open, click next, and we can name it Windows 7 x86. This way, if we have multiple boot images for different architectures, we know what it is. Go ahead and click next and next. And what's going to happen is the boot image is going to be imported into the WDS service. This way, it's made available on the network for people to boot off a PXE and connect to the WDS server. Once the boot image is loaded, we'll go ahead and click finish. And we're going to go ahead and load an install image. To load an install image, we can click add install image. Have in mind we can also create image groups. So for example, if we might have images for Windows 7 and Windows Server 2008, we might want to create an image group called Windows 7 so we can separate the images from each other. So I'll go ahead and click add install image. And I'm going to browse back to the CD of my Windows 7 media and choose the install.wim file. The install.wim file stores the Windows 7 images. I'll go ahead and click OK and next. And as you see in this DVD, there's only one installation version, which is the Windows 7 Enterprise Edition. You might have different media that might have all the versions of Ultimate, Home, Premium, Professional, for example. And there you could choose which edition you want to load up into your WDS server. Go ahead and click next. And we'll click next again for the image to be uploaded into the WDS server. Once the image is completely loaded into the server, we're going to go ahead and click finish. And as you can see, we have our Windows 7 Enterprise image uploaded into the WDS server. So after our image is loaded and prepared, we can go ahead to our client and boot the client from the network. And what you will see is that using a PXE boot environment, the client will boot off the network, connect to the WDS server, and load that boot.wim image file that we loaded before. We come to the WDS front screen. As you can see, we need to authenticate. And I'm going to go in and put in my username and password. This way you won't have random people connecting to your WDS server and pulling down an image. As you can see, the only image that we uploaded was the Windows 7 Enterprise image. Now, if there were different version languages of it, we could have chosen a different language. If you had loaded different images, those different images could have been shown up here as well. I'm going to go ahead and click next. And I can go ahead and choose the partition and location where I want the installation to happen. I can do everything like a normal Windows installation, but the only difference is that the image is coming down from the WDS server instead of the Windows CD or DVD media. As well as this could have been a custom image that we had created ourselves and uploaded using ImageX or using WDS's capture image as well. So I'm going to go ahead and choose that partition and click next. As you can see, the copying gets done, Windows starts to expand, and just like a normal installation, Windows will be installed onto this partition, and once the installation is complete, the reboot will happen, and depending on what your image is, if it's a plain new image, you'll enter the Windows out-of-box experience. If it happens to be a sysprepped image or a custom created image, the image will boot up to the desktop or to the sysprep environment. So, you can use WDS to manage and maintain images. You can even capture images with WDS if you create a capture image. And you can use that to capture your images on your environment, image machines in your environment. The other beautiful thing about it is that you can do it automatically, and it can be done on multiple machines at the same time without having to manually sit behind each one and run the ImageX apply command.